They don't tell you this part of the game. If you don't use what you've been given, you'll lose it. If you don't create, you will disintegrate. Even Christ said it. The one who has more will be given, but the one who has not, even what they think they have will be taken. Sound harsh? That's not just scripture. That's law. The law of motion, the law of intention, the law of purpose. You don't get to keep what you neglect, not your gifts, not your vision, not your opportunities. Purpose isn't permanent unless you protect it. Talent fades if it's not exercised. Muscle shrinks when you stop using it. Faith weakens when you stop walking it. Ideas die when you leave them in the corner of your mind and never move on them. And time don't wait. Not for fear, not for laziness, not for overthinking, not for perfection. You either grow it or you lose it. That's the real divide between those who evolve and those who evaporate. You see the rich getting richer. It's not luck, it's momentum. It's discipline. It's the law Christ laid down. Use what you have, and more will be added. You see the poor staying poor? It's not always lack of effort. It's often lack of movement in the right direction. Stuck in loops, waiting for motivation instead of building habits. Waiting for help instead of making a shift. This world honors the doers, the builders, the steppers. So if you've been given vision, walk in it. If you've been given peace, guard it. If you've been given purpose, move with it. If you've been given pressure, turn it into power. Because the truth is, you either use it or you lose it. You either create or you disintegrate. The choice is yours. But life will always echo back what you do with what you've been given. See, the game was never fair. But the rules are solid. Invisible, maybe, but solid. The world doesn't reward intention unless it's backed by movement. You could have the heart of a lion, the mind of a genius. But if your hands never move, if your mouth never speaks, if your feet never walk, you'll still end up stuck. The graveyard is full of people who had purpose, who had callings, who had dreams loud enough to wake the dead, but never acted. They waited, hesitated, got distracted, and talked themselves out of it. And life took back the assignment. Let me make this plain. You don't have forever. You have a window. And windows don't stay open forever. You think ideas are yours alone? Nah, ideas are spiritual visitors. They knock, they whisper, they tug at your chest. And if you don't move on them, they move on from you. Somebody else will launch that business. Somebody else will write that script. Somebody else will answer the call you ignored. Because purpose don't beg. It chooses, but it also moves. Let's talk about Moses, the same man God handpicked, called by name from a burning bush. And what did he say? "Not me, Lord," I stutter. "What if they don't believe me? Can't you send someone else?" He questioned the call because he focused on his limitations instead of his assignment. And how did God respond? He got frustrated. Because purpose doesn't wait forever, not even for Moses. God eventually allowed Aaron to speak on his behalf. But that delay cost Moses the leadership flow he was designed to walk in. Now bring it to today. You ever notice how someone else always ends up doing the thing you were thinking about? You wanted to start that YouTube channel. Months go by. Now someone else is saying what you were afraid to say, building a following, owning the space. You wanted to write that book, launch that brand, build that platform. Now you see someone else with your same idea, just in motion. And that's not a coincidence. That's law. What you don't move on, moves on from you. The world is hungry for impact, and if you won't feed it, it'll find someone who will. The lesson? Hesitation is a seed. If you water it with fear, it becomes regret. But if you burn it with action, it dies before it roots. Don't let your moment become someone else's movement. Let's talk about the illusion of timing. You keep saying, "I'm just waiting for the right moment." I need to get a few things in place first. I'll move when the situation is more stable. But deep down, you know that's not timing. It's fear dressed in logic. That perfect time you're waiting on, it doesn't exist. That's the trap. You think alignment comes before movement, but the truth is, movement creates alignment. You don't wait for confidence to take the step. You take the step, and confidence meets you mid-stride. And distraction? Distraction is today's anesthesia. It numbs you just enough to forget you're unfulfilled. Scroll culture, mindless content, the loop of meaningless conversations. It keeps you busy, not productive, just occupied. You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you've been looped. And the world loves a looped mind, because a looped mind can't build, can't break cycles, can't disrupt anything. And you were born to disrupt, to build something that leaves a dent in time, to create something your great-grandkids will still benefit from. But you can't do that with your gifts in idle. You can't become legend while acting like a spectator. Here's the cost of waiting. Every day you don't move, your vision fades. Every week you delay, your hunger dulls. Every month you avoid the call, your edge softens. Until one day, it's gone. Not because you weren't chosen, but because you wouldn't choose back. Let's talk about urgency. Not panic, not rush, urgency. The kind that wakes you up before your alarm. The kind that burns in your chest when you know you're made for more. The kind that whispers, "Move now," while it still matters. See, pressure is not the enemy. Comfort is. Pressure reminds you that you're alive, that there's still something worth fighting for, that your time here is limited, but your impact is not. You don't have forever to play small. You don't have forever to second-guess your gifts. You don't have forever to figure it out. What you do have is a moment. And that moment is now. You were chosen. You were called. You were given something that wasn't handed to everybody. A mind that sees different. A heart that feels deeper. A spirit that's restless in shallow places. That's not by accident. That's assignment. And when you treat your gifts like they don't matter, the world responds in kind. It shuts doors. It closes windows. It passes the baton to someone who's ready to run. But if you step up, if you claim your space, if you stop waiting and start building, everything changes. Your gifts will stretch. Your name will echo. And everything that felt delayed will start to align. Because the truth never changed. You either use it or you lose it. You either create or you disintegrate. The question isn't, can you rise? It's, will you?